Elaborate on mouthpiece. Develop a mouthpiece. Where do I start? It's the magic that makes it all happen. I think that when people think of a mouthpiece, right? The only thing you really need to think of is a man who's effective with his words. You know how people always say, "Oh, it's not what you say, it's how you say it." A nigga with a mouthpiece, what he's saying is influential. He knows how to. Some people call it the gift of gab. Have you ever heard of that? Some people call it the gift of gab. You could look at an expert salesman. You could look at somebody like the Wolf of Wall Street, like how he said he used to break down on phone calls. That's a mouthpiece. A mouthpiece ain't just got about like, oh, I approached her and I got her number and I fucking whatever. Bro, a mouthpiece can close a business deal. A mouthpiece can fucking I can't even describe it, but it's just being very intentional about how you use your words. You're very good with your words. So you got a mouthpiece compared to somebody who doesn't. Give both of us 5 minutes with the same woman. I'm so far along in my conversation because each of my sentences have positioned me or made an impact. And this other dude's talking about fucking Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. like he's bullshitting with his words. But I know how to use my mouthpiece to position myself. I know how to throw myself an alley-oop off the backboard. I know how to finesse. I know how to seduce. I know how to flirt. I know how to charm. I can use my words. I can speak and get myself in and out of doors. It don't matter. Completely separate from a woman. And the better you are at doing that, the better your mouthpiece is. And if you're thinking about developing that right now that we just described that, I'm going to be honest. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. The ways I really develop my mouthpiece is just out of pure determination. And what do I mean by that? My mouthpiece what really came in clutch when I was getting myself into universities and my grades in high school really wasn't that tough. And I leveraged how I approached these college fairs, how I talked to them, letting them know like, hey, listen, I know my first 2 years wasn't good, but here's my, my last 2 years, here's the classes I'm taking. Took this SAT prep course. I got this other SAT score. This is all my mouthpiece. I'm saying all this to build my case, making a relationship with this person, to which then I ended up building that relationship. They gave me a connection, and I ended up getting a full ride from it. Example of a mouthpiece. Determination. This is more on the toxic side of things, but guess what? At the end of the day, it has helped me develop my mouthpiece. Like I tell y'all, certain things that I've gotten caught up with other women, let's not even get into it. But having to come back from being down 30 and finesse it and clutch it without begging is what made my mouthpiece have to be sharp. Because I was too prideful, so I didn't want to beg. I didn't want to fucking be on some desperate shit, but to be intentional with what I was saying. So I'm telling you, the more you start making your sentences matter, the better your mouthpiece is gonna get. It's just about like putting yourself in situations where you gotta work. You gotta work on that shit, bro. Positioning, being determined to get what you want, and using your words to get you there. So practice networking with persuasion. Fine, if that's what understand makes sense to you, then go with that. I think that's actually a simple way to put it. So you're basically saying you should stop wasting time, show them who you are, and have an attention while talking. When I gave you an example with that college fair and how it helped me get a full ride, not only just me, but 3 of my other friends, and then 2 more after that, right? All full rides, and some of us to different universities, right? I set the example because I would go in there to this desk, right? Just imagine this. It's a college fair. Have you ever, and y'all know what a college fair is, right? There's different, it could be a state college fair, it could be a HBCU college fair, and then it'll be like a list of 10 to 20 universities. And they'll all have these booths. Right? And it might say Penn State University, it might say Rutgers, it might say, all these different universities will have their stands, right? Now they have cards, they have pamphlets, brochures, shit like that. And then there'll be either 1 to 2 people. That's what I usually see. 1 to 2 people behind the desk. And that person will be wearing like the college's uniform or like the college's jersey, right? Now, I actually wasn't even aware of this at the time. But because I was people. No, I mean I'm saying was, but because I was so keen on how to talk to people, and how to influence people, and how to get what I want, and I knew what I want going into these situations. It was like a perfect match, bro. Come to find out that a lot of times those people behind those desks at those college fairs play a big part in who they are in their university. Like the lady behind the desk, she's not just some part-time person who just came here and showed up and represented the university. Dog, she might be like the co-admissions director or the fucking recruitment officer or some shit. Like she has a position, right? A position of power or influence. And not only that, because of that position, there are connections that she even has at the university which can push and pull favors. I didn't know this at the time. All I knew, I was going in here with an opportunity and I wanted to leverage my mouthpiece because I knew my resume wasn't really that strong. I had like a 3.0 or something because my first 2 years of high school was bad. I told you I was getting in trouble, getting into fights, fucking around with women. Like I wasn't really worried about my grades. But my last 2 years, I cooked. I took AP courses. I had a 1300 on my SAT. I actually cooked my last 2 years. So I was going and talking to these people and telling them my story. I was marketing myself. And from those conversations, it positioned them to say, you know what? I like this young man. Take my card. Right? And not even take my card on some bullshit shit. I had offers from all these universities because of this conversation. In fact, the university I actually ended up choosing, right? I got into the honors program through this. Well, I had to still get interviewed and make it through that, right? But even during the interview, my mouthpiece, nigga, you know why I stood out in the interview? Because most of those students who went to interview for the honors college, right? They were going in there nervous. They were going in there, oh, I have to prove myself. I have to get them to like me and get accepted. You know what I went in there with the mentality was? I went in there and said, I know who I am. I literally remember one of my strongest sentences during that interview. I said something along the lines of, this is all mouthpiece. I said something along the lines of 3.0 GPA is bad. I went to a college prep high school, so I had people in there with 4.3s, 3.8s. People went to Brown University, Princeton, NYU. Like my high school was compy as fuck. Like it was really a top tier high school. So when I say 3.0, it was the standard of my school. So 3.0 was bad for the standard that we had. Now listen, back to what I was saying with this interview shit. I'm gonna one of my strongest sentences in the interview was something along the lines of, I know what my plan and vision is for myself as a leader and what I want to do for my community. And if this honors program is a good fit to help me develop my skills for my goal and my plan, then that's why I want to be here. And this positioning, I never forget I said that, dog. Because when I said that shit, I was like, damn, I cooked. Dog, you should have seen their face after I said this. And I ended up getting accepted immediately. I got that phone call that weekend. People had to wait months for their decision. I got that phone call that weekend. Now listen. So after right, we had that conversation, right? Well, after I said that in that conversation, the point was I leveraged my mouthpiece to sit here and show them I know who I am. I know my value. I have a sense of self-worth. My vision is very clear. And I'm letting you know your position to me. I'm not sitting up here begging, trying to prove myself to you. Please accept me so you can turn me into somebody I'm not. I said, no, I know who I am and we're either going to benefit each other and you're going to benefit me in this way. You know what kind of audacity you gotta have to say some shit like that? You know how well you got to know yourself to say some shit like that and to stand on it? And guess the fuck what? It only played to my advantage because they knew when they could recognize a motherfucker who handles shit and gets shit done and is a leader and actually is influential. And it all came from my knowledge of myself and my determination. I'm trying to tell you, now Chad, did I give y'all some examples of mouthpiece? Because I want to get more specific when I talk about shit. I don't want to just be like, oh, have this and do this and blah, blah, blah. I can get specific because I live everything I fucking talk about. So I don't have to sit here and talk about it like it's like I read it in a fucking book or it's some make-believe shit. Nigga, I live what I talk about on all levels, on any level. And I don't even have to use mouthpiece with women because it's the same thing. You could actually go back and look at the fucking edit I just had with the Destiny Wife situation. And with all due respect, actually let me reserve that comment. But look at the conversation. Look at the difference between, especially if you went to watch how the other contestants talked to her and how I talked to her. Mouthpiece. I'm a man of many passions and many interests, so I have a heart. What? Every sentence I'm using, nigga, it's painting a picture. Even from the first, I said, you know what? I'm gonna get straight to it. Why do you? I heard you say this. Why do you think you're too much? And it, okay, so really, what you think is blah blah blah. And then I commented on every sentence count, nigga. You want to make, you want to have. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Y'all get too much shit for free, man. And let the Patreon niggas tell it. This is a whole different ball game on there, bro. You was not trying to be there. They were strictly Yeah. You see, I tell y'all, it's like a lot of times y'all can tell when I really don't want the woman. I mean, Sneeko texted me, was like, yo, come. I didn't even know who she was. I knew Destiny had a wife. I knew he had an open relationship, but I didn't know it was her. I don't know her from a can of paint. I kind of just went on there and just did it because it's nothing to me to run my game. But it was the perfect opportunity. It was the perfect opportunity to give y'all something free. To give y'all something to review, something to look back on. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm always looking for an opportunity to stamp my mark, nigga. Examples of people with great mouthpieces to study. Go the fuck outside, loser. God damn. Did I not just give you the keys? I think y'all are so used to stuff. Yo, chat, I'm gonna tell you an example. And people who are about what they talk about understand this. And I actually didn't get this at the time. I used to be a procrastinator, a little bit of a lazy student back then. My pre-calc teacher, right? She was probably had one of the tightest work ethics I ever have seen in my fucking life in a human being. Like if there is peak performance in a human being, she had it, dog. Like she would be up all hours of the day. Math. She taught like the AP Calc classes, AP Calc 1 and 2, the pre-calc, and she was, though her penmanship, her arithmetic, her knowledge of math in and of itself was impeccable because of the work and the hours she put in. She always let us know the standard. She's like, in college, you should be doing this many hours a week. But I told you I went to a compy high school, so our teachers were tryhards, right? Dion Sanaya, I appreciate the 4 months. Let me tell y'all, bro. So this is the type of person she is. She was a fucking hard worker, bro. A grinder. Like no talent, just all hard work, and she surpassed so many people because of that, right? Now listen. It was one thing she would always say when she would introduce a new subject or a new topic within the course, right? And she would show us how to do the problem. She would write it on the board, explain the problem. But she always would say, excuse me, because I had to burp. She always would call random students to the board and then she would be like, you can't get better at basketball you can't just only get better at basketball by watching highlights or reviewing film. You have to fucking practice, my guy. You have to. I can sit here and review all the film in the world, watch every single Tykwondoe video, but until I implement it, until I rehearse what I'm doing, and make it a part of me and do what I want my way, it's never going to become natural. It'll never go into who you are as a person, ever. Now we need a video autobiography. Utilizing the mouthpiece to succeed. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I ain't had man, what? I would not have. Actually, not even gonna lie. I'm very smart, and I could work hard. So I'm not gonna say that. But I'm gonna tell you something. My mouthpiece plays a big advantage on a lot of my success in so many ways. I mean, just look at that. Look. I'll just give you a random example. Look at my Cheyenne and Melly collab. I don't do anything that anybody else does. I don't pay women to collab with me. I don't fly people out. I don't beg. I don't do none of that shit. I didn't even go on grilling with Cheyenne. We know each other personally. That's Mouthpiece. There's an individual bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. If I would get into the details of how my Mouthpiece serves me so many advantages in life, it wouldn't even be funny. Y'all wouldn't even fucking know. Like, dog. Oh my God.